See how Tucson is raising awareness and support for AIDS patients.
And learn how one UA group is helping families receive the medical care they need. All this and more tonight on Wildcast.
Live from the University of Arizona UATV studio, this is Wildcast.
Welcome to Wildcast. I'm Max Efren.
And I'm Jackie Kent. Thanks for joining us tonight.
The Obama administration's healthcare website is said to be more or less fully operational. The Health and Human Services Department released a progress report on Sunday stating that healthcare.gov is performing substantially better than it did 2 months ago. Users of the website should no longer face glitches or blank screens if the government's diagnosis is correct. Officials say, however, that there is still some work to be done on the site. Insurance companies are saying that much of the enrollment information they are receiving is not transferring properly, coming up as gibberish or in duplicates. Government officials aim to have this fixed no later than December 23rd, the deadline for consumers who wish to have their coverage kick in by the new year.
The university is doing its part to make sure students have health care coverage. The Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, requires everyone to be insured by the beginning of 2014. Representatives with Campus Health Services, that's located near the Highland Commons, can help you navigate the Obamacare website or websites for other commercial health insurance policies. They can also set you up with the Arizona Board of Regents Student Health Plan. To qualify for that, students need to meet certain criteria based on the number of units they're taking and what degree they're studying. A representative with Campus Health says about 6,500 students are qualified for Medicaid or lower-cost insurance based on their financial status. But students can always opt to stay on their parents' health care plan until they're 26 years old.
You may have seen red ribbons hanging from city buildings last week in honor of World AIDS Day. Reporter Hannah Polinick has more on what Tucson did to increase awareness.
December 1st marked the 25th annual World AIDS Day. Various organizations teamed up to put on an event at Hotel Congress, which included live music, dancing, face painting, and free HIV testing. The nightlife-tailored portion of the evening featured the local band Shameless Flirts and HIV-themed Jeopardy! The event aimed at spreading awareness about HIV/AIDS, increasing education, and remembering those who have died.
I feel it's important to have events like this to, one, give a face to HIV because we're all individuals and we all have our own personal stories, and that helps break down stigma. And it's also important to educate folks because often there are just all these misunderstandings, and when we have a bunch of misunderstandings, we have fear, and that fear can be very deadly to our community.
The theme of this year's World AIDS Day is getting to zero. That's 0 AIDS-related deaths and 0 new infections. According to the Center for Disease Control, more than 1 million people in the United States are living with HIV/AIDS, and about 1 in 4 new HIV infections is among young people ages 13 to 24.
One of the first things is to know that the HIV infection rates are increasing among people 24 and under at a very quick rate compared to the rest of our population. And this is also a completely preventable disease.
HIV can be prevented by limiting your number of sexual partners, properly using condoms, and staying away from injection drugs. It is important to get annually tested for HIV, and if positive, seek treatment. Reporting from downtown, I'm Hannah Polinick for Wildcast.
Governor Jan Brewer has just announced that the thousands of child abuse cases ignored by Arizona's Child Protective Services will be addressed. CPS has marked more than 6,000 child abuse reports dating back to 2009 as, quote, not investigated. Chief Manager of CPS Clarence Carter said that this label was used to help manage the overburdened child welfare system. Brewer has put together a team of 9 people in charge of making sure these overlooked cases are revisited. The team will also be looking at the CPS system itself to see how it can be made more efficient and eliminate some of its concerns.
Stay with us after the break to hear how the UA Rec Center received national acclaim.
Hi, it's David Hasselhoff, the Hoff. Get Hoff with UATV. Stay tuned. Don't change the dial.
Welcome back. It certainly feels like we're going to get a taste of winter sometime soon, and weather reporter Shay Sorensen has this week's forecast for us. Shay.
Good evening, Wildcats. More rain is in the forecast, and we can expect that to roll in tomorrow and linger through Thursday. Temperatures will also plummet as this trough digs down into the southwest. We can expect tomorrow's highs to sit around 64 with a low of 47. For Thursday, temps will be even chillier with a high of 54 degrees and a low of 33. We can expect highs for the rest of the week to be in the mid to upper 50s. These cold temperatures won't be leaving us anytime soon. Next week, another trough will dip into Arizona, which will continue to pull down cold air from the north. All I can say is to dress warm, bundle up, and enjoy the winter weather. That is all I have for you, Wildcats, and enjoy the rest of your week.
The U of A continues to be noticed across the U.S. The U.S. News and World Report has named the UA a top school for supporting military veterans. The UA comes in at number 23 out of nearly 250 schools for its effort to provide benefits to military veterans and active service members that can help them pursue a college education. 303 veterans were enrolled in 2012. University officials say the number of veteran students at the U of A has increased by about 56% over the past 12 years.
We all know the U of A campus is beautiful, but a certain area in particular is getting national recognition. The Rec Center was just named the most impressive student recreation center in the U.S. These results come from a survey on bestvalueschools.com. The Rec Center was noted for its expansion for sand volleyball and bouldering. It was the only rec center to receive a platinum rating. The 108,000 square foot center cost roughly $23 million with all of its recent renovations. So what exactly is bouldering, Max? Do you know what that is?
I mean, don't quote me on it, but I think it's related to rock climbing. It has something to do with jumping from boulder to boulder.
Well, apparently we have the best bouldering, so we'll have to check it out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Students at the university are coming together to help provide families with free medical care. Wildcast reporter Karen Lizarraga has an inside look at the group's work in Rocky Point, Mexico.
The holidays are right around the corner. While many celebrate with family and joy, others are less fortunate and receive less. Striving to make a change, Mexzona is having a shoe drive happening through the beginning month of December.
In our club, we strive to provide medical and interpretation services to the less fortunate and families in Rocky Point, Mexico.
Mexzona is a medical club that goes to Rocky Point every month to collaborate with U.S. doctors, providing free medical care for families who cannot afford medical expenses.
And we're holding a clothes and shoe drive from November 22nd to December 14th in the Cesar Chavez building, room 211. So if you can donate any kind of shoes, women, men's shoes, new or used, that would be a big help.
The Shoes and Clothes Drive is to provide for families in Rocky Points who cannot afford new clothing or shoes. Each donation collected until December 14 will go directly to a deserving family in Rocky Point, Mexico.
The first time I went down to Rocky Point to help these families with medical care, I was really emotionally touched by these families. I felt the need that we could do more to provide for these families, so I decided to do this shoe and clothing drive in order to give these families something, to stay warm during these holidays.
The club is looking for Harley or new shoes or clothes or even socks. Donations can be dropped off at the Cesar Chavez Building, room 211, in a red box. So let's hop on this Wildcat holiday spirit and donate for the less fortunate. Reporting from the University of Arizona for Wildcast, I'm Karen Lizarraga.
And now we'll be turning over to sports reporter Chelsea Moe for a look at this week's sports rundown. Chelsea.
Hello, Arizona Wildcats. What a week it has been in sports. In women's volleyball, senior Candace Nicholson recorded a career high of 36 digs in her final match in McHale Center. Nicholson also earned Arizona's first ever Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week. The Wildcats were selected to the NCAA first round for postseason and will travel to San Diego to take on New Mexico State this Friday at 6 p.m. Arizona basketball is now ranked number 2 in the nation after beating Duke 72-66 on Friday night in the championship game of the NIT tournament. Nick Johnson was named Pac-12 Player of the Week. Arizona will play Game 8 on December 3rd at 7 p.m. against Texas Tech. In football, the Wildcats couldn't seem to beat the Sun Devils this past Saturday, losing 58-21. However, despite this loss, Kadeem Carey collected his 15th consecutive 100-yard rushing game and earned the Pac-12 Player of the Year award. He leads active players in the FBS in rushing yards and touchdowns. That's all in sports, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Chelsea. As always, thanks for tuning in to Wildcast. You can watch us anytime online at uatv.arizona.edu or on our YouTube channel, UATV CH3.
We'll see you next week for another edition of Wildcast. Good night.